Yes, pedías si miałem na do scary video na camo reaction. Scary video. Cenne ben adım mazi.
That is capable of murdering you or filming your very last moments. These are 5 creepy and chilling events caught on video. Let's begin. Number 1. On 16th of April 2014, the 6,825-ton MV Sorrel capsized while carrying 476 people. Most of them were school kids. The chilling footage that you're seeing was filmed by senior school kids that were inside the MV Sorrel at the time it capsized. The terrified young teenagers were told to stay where they were inside their cabins by crew members. At first, the school kids were nervously laughing and joking, believing the likes of the captain, teachers and crew members would help them. What they didn't know was that when the ferry began to sink, the captain and his crew members evacuated the MV Sorrel and left the kids to basically die. He didn't even change his order for everyone to evacuate. These terrifying scenes were captured as the school kids were in tears, talking about their loved ones. How terrifying it must have been when they were so young in a sinking ship with no adult supervisors or loved ones to help you. Over 300 passengers died. The captain was later sentenced to 36 years in jail. He was charged with murder. The owner of the MV Sorrel, who was wanted by the police for questioning, was later found dead. Number 2. This creepy video was taken by Stephen McDaniel on the night he killed his classmate and next door neighbour Lauren Giddens. He spied on her for a couple of months before he then broke into her apartment wearing a black mask and gloves. Lauren Giddens then fought with the masked man to get away. This is when she realised that she knew who the man was, as she managed to pull off the mask and found out it was Stephen McDaniel. Stephen then strangled her to death. He then chillingly went back to his room and went on the computer. A few hours later he returned to the scene where he then cut Lauren up using a chainsaw. He then dumped her body in a trash dumpster outside the apartment complex that they both lived in. The cops 2 days later found Lauren Giddens' torso in a trash can. Stephen McDaniel later pleaded guilty to murdering Lauren. Number 3. Imagine living in total fear of being watched. Well, for John Lang, this was his reality. This is the creepy moment where he caught men in a van filming his house with what looks like to be a thermo-sensitive camera. What I find quite disturbing about this is not only must it have been quite intimidating to see men filming your house, but the equipment they're using is quite sophisticated and expensive, meaning he could be dealing with professionals. When they saw that John was also filming them, they panicked and you could see them shutting the door. Why would anyone want to film John Lang though? Well, John was an activist against police corruption and some of his allegations were very serious. So it was no surprise that he was disliked by the police force. So scared that his life was in danger, he posted on his Facebook, warning the public that the cops are trying to kill him. 10 days later, John's house was on fire. Inside, John was found dead. He was stabbed and then burned. Someone had murdered John Lang, but no one has been charged for the murder. Number 4. Harrison O'Kane was one of the 12 crew members of a small tugboat when it capsized. For 3 days, O'Kane suffered in a small pocket of air inside the overturned tugboat. This is a chilling video that was captured by a rescue team. At first, you could see this ghostly hand coming towards you. To be honest, when I first saw the footage, I thought it looked like something that you would see from a horror movie. You then could hear the utter shock as the divers realised that one of the crew members was actually alive. At the time, the diver thought that the hand was of a corpse touching him. For 3 days, O'Kane, the only survivor, was living a nightmare where he could hear his other crew members being eaten by fish. He lived in complete darkness with no food, and all he drank was 1 can of Coke. In his native country, Nigeria, some believe that it was such a miracle that he survived that they asked him if he used black magic to survive. He still has nightmares where he sometimes wakes up telling his wife that their bed is sinking. One thing is for certain, he said, I will never go back to the sea again. Number 5. On August 10th, 1984, pilot James Goodell was flying a Cessna when he crashed the plane into the forest. Both James and his friend, Ronald Wilmond, died in the crash. 3 days later, backpackers found the plane wreck where they also found a VHS tape of the crash. All you're looking at now is the footage showing what happened during their last moments. Just before the crash, you can hear James shouting over to Ronald, "Damn, hang on, Ronnie." The footage then chillingly cuts out. What video would you like to see us make next?
Maria, ci riponi che se non clicca?
Ce sta mai sto video?
Ne ci riponi che se non clicca?
Έλεξα.
Okay.
Το βίντεο είναι κινημένο.
Δεν ci πειράζει. Πες και να δούμε άλλο ένα βίντεο, αλλά θα μπορεί να μην το δούμε όλο επειδή πάει 9 λεπτά και 8 δευτερόλεπτα. Δεν πάει να ξεκινήσουμε να εμβολιολογούμε.
What's up everyone and welcome back to Top 5 Central. Anyways, let's get right into the video. Number 5, Michael D. Maggie. Now everybody knows that ghost sightings are a pretty rare thing, and catching one on camera is even more unusual. So with that said, I think Michael D. Maggie either has seriously bad luck or his house is crazy haunted, because the sightings just keep coming. I mean, way back in 2015, he noticed a milk bottle wobbling around on his counter all by itself, and said he knew it was the same spirit that had been protecting him for months. However, in 2017, things hit a whole other level, and unfortunately for him, this time the ghosts weren't so friendly. Like one night, he heard creaking on the stairs and banging on the doors, and since he was alone in the apartment, that was, well, pretty freaking spooky. So he got up to film, and things got even crazier, because whatever it was started dragging toys across the floor, and even threw a ragged Annie doll off the shelf and onto the ground. A similar thing must have happened in his kitchen a few months later, because you could hear the door creak open again, and then something starts moving the bowl on the counter back and forth. So basically, whoever this ghost is only seems to want one thing, and that's just to mess stuff up.
Okay. Τι έχω έτσι.
Απλώς ακούεται και σπάζει κάποια πράγματα. Αλλά δεν σκότωσε κάτι.
Πες και αν είσαι μητσούς, ψεύτικα.
Number 4, Logan Paul. So Logan Paul has never been afraid to act dramatic in his vlogs, and in this one, he's definitely being a bit over the top, but what he's seeing is definitely still spooky. Basically, the story is that his friend George spent the night in a cemetery with some other dudes, and things got so intense that Logan just had to react to the footage. I mean, the guys walk over a grave and get the shivers at the exact same time, which is already a clue that they should have gotten out of there, but they keep going and things get even weirder. Like for a start, George keeps hearing a girl whispering through his mic, and soon he could hear her screaming too. They end up being led to a super creepy hut, and that's when all hell breaks loose, because a ghost literally flies past them on camera. Seriously, when they shine a torch into the distance, there's a clear figure flying across the screen, completely separate from the beam of light. I'm not joking, Logan even runs the raw, unedited footage, and it's there too, which freaks him out so badly that he spends the rest of the vlog yelling about it.
Creepy hut over there. We're gonna go check it out. Yo, what is that? Right there, that place. Dude, there's a cat right there. There's a cat.
Did you see that? Did you see that? I'm gonna play it again.
Dude, there's a cat right there. There's a cat.
What the? What was that? You know, so my first
Ikaw
reaction
pa
was
alin
to
mo
go
no
back and play it in
ginagawa
slow
lang.
motion.
Dude, there's a cat right there. There's a cat.
Number 3, Omar Gosh TV. Okay, so coming across a ghost when you're not expecting it is one thing, but you've got to be pretty brave to go seek them out. That's what makes Omar Gosh TV one of the bravest vloggers out there, because he went and spent the night in the basement of a haunted hotel. And the hotel happened to be the most haunted hotel in the world. So yeah, obviously that's just asking for trouble, and trouble is exactly what they got, because it didn't take long for them to realize they weren't alone. While they were exploring what used to be the vault, a woman suddenly walked across the empty corridor behind them, but when they chased after her, she was nowhere to be found. Things got even worse later, because when they decided to check out the abandoned storage area, something else decided to come out to play. If you watch closely, you can see a shadow kind of like move towards him before dragging back an opening that looks like a little window. Even worse, when they go to check it out, there's a whole secret room behind it, and it's almost like the ghost was inviting them in. I mean, seriously, I'd highly recommend checking out Omar's channel because I'm a huge fan myself, so feel free to watch the whole video. You can find it down in the description below.
Bro, is that you? Whoa! What the hell? What? I got that on camera, bro. There was a woman that just walked by right now. This is for rocks. Oh, I was thinking it was like for sanding or something. What? Bro.
Number 2, Exploring with Steve.
इसका
Okay, if you...
after the video, like, subscribe. Opti amici miei e non aliskia. Tuda, ne bye.